Welcome to Developing Me, We, and You, where real people, real projects, and real change come together. Our guest today is Jeff Allen, who is a dynamic commercial real estate advisor, realtor, and development consultant with a bold vision for equity, empowerment, and ecosystem building. Though early in his development career, Jeff is already partnering on a 92-acre mixed-use master plan and senior housing project, and he's just getting started. Through the support of the Martindale Brightwood CDC, the Urban Land Institute, and LISC Indy, Jeff is building both the knowledge and the partnerships to bring transformative ideas to life in underserved communities. Welcome, Jeff Allen.
Thank you so much. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having me.
So that was a lot, right?
It is a lot.
It is a lot, and I know you said you checking emails.
Yes,
or-
it keeps me busy.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
How'd you get started?
Divine providence, I would say.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of funny. You know, you live life forward, but you understand it in retrospect. You know, you look back and you be like, okay, wow, that's why I was prepared for that, and that's why I went through that. So, was working for the Indianapolis Urban League. My latest job as I transitioned into real estate.
Okay.
So I started a Saving Our Sons program over there and a suit closet as well, and we had about 125 guys come through the program each year. I was there for about a couple of years. But yeah, focused on mental health, focused on connecting them to financial resources through the New Beginnings program, helped them get their resumes together, and noticed a void. I noticed that the women would get connected to Dress for Success and had applications, but the guys would come in, and especially the guys per the grant for the 18 to 24-year-old young men would come in with jogging suits on and football equipment and what have you. So they've gone through a 2-week program knowing how to get their resumes together and connecting them to jobs on the last day. But presentation is everything. So I wanted to make sure that they were, first of all, obtaining a mindset of moving forward and transitioning into a professional level, and also the appearance. And so that's why I partner with a guy in St. Louis who has another Saving Our Sons program. And so they ship semis down and truckloads of suits. So I had about maybe 200 suits. And then I left there June of 2020 and ended up starting my own program called Making Men Better. So it was another suit closet and just enhancement program and connecting them to different resources like food and jobs as well. But I got about 400 suits from them as well. So I kept the same contact and just expanded it, making it bigger and better.
Wow.
Yeah. So then I got into real estate in September. It was like, okay, perfect, Jeff. Middle of a pandemic.
Got into real estate. What?
Middle of a pandemic. Yeah, start your own business.
Okay.
So, got into real estate, but it was a blessing because the interest rates were down so low, considering a recession, and so it was 2%, and everybody was jumping on. So it was a perfect timing. So it's all about perspective. However you look at it, you can, mope and cry, or you can pivot and, move and go with the flow. So that's what I did and had very successful first few years of real estate. I was working at FC Tucker and started with Tamiko Whitaker and on her team. And when I met with her, I'd been knowing her for like 15 years or so. And she said, I got into real estate a couple of years ago. Now I'm able to start a team. Want you to be on it. So I said, okay, come on, let's do it. So, we were on billboards and Kroger carts.
I knew you looked familiar.
Everything. And then transitioned into development from the Martindale Brightwood CDC. Had a client and I was showing some duplexes to, and she said, you ought to take a look at the Jumpstart Indy program. I said, what's that? So drug my feet for about 2 weeks, and then I put the application in, and I guess out of 100, 35 got chosen, and it was divine providence. It was like, okay, I had no control, but thank God I'm here. Heard about ULI, moved into that, and progressively.
With the Ready
Yeah,
program.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Ready program was amazing. So real estate diversity initiative helping people of color and minorities achieve successes that in a field that's mostly dominated by white men. And so development is very vigorous, process. But yeah, only the strong survive.
Yeah.
And so thank God I'm able to get opportunities and just continue to grow in that space.
So really that's what, 5 or so years in the space?
Yeah, 4.5 years in real estate total up until this day.
Wow. So you're still so early in your development journey, but you've already are working on some major projects.
Yes. So when I first got into it, I am an advocate for mentors. So I wanted to stay connected to some mentors. So shout out to Keith Veal and
Oh yeah, Keith. Love Keith.
Jim Roberts in Illinois. So just learning all about different aspects. I had a guy come to me about a 92-acre deal. And so he wanted to put together this master plan development, and they talking hundreds of millions of dollars for this particular plan. If I showed you, you'd be like, oh yeah, it's easy 500 million. But it scared me. It scared me at first. I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. When we think of development, we, learned about affordable housing and different projects on a smaller scale. We saw the developers come in on a larger scale, but like, okay, I can definitely see that. I'm gonna work up to that.
Yeah.
But my first one, it's like, oh. So of course I kept my mentors close by. I always talking to them, running this by them, that by them, and got a lot of insights. So I would relay that information back and keep that conversation going, and anything that I can do to help with these particular deals, that's what I'm there for. So it might not always be about the land. It might be about the totality of the deal and how should I be thinking about this. So yeah.
And then there's a senior housing project that you're advising on?
Yeah, so my pastor, it's kind of funny, like I said, it's all divine providence
Yeah.
it's almost like, I'm going to take it biblical now. When Moses was getting ready to go sacrifice his son, but then there was a ram in the bush, right? But who knew that as they were traveling up the mountain, the ram was going to be there at the same time. So I was going through the program at ULI, coming through a 15-week program. The pastor had already had plans in the nonprofit operation agreement, and he wanted to do housing. So he's in conversation about housing maybe earlier part of this year, and then wanted to form a team. So he asked me would I want to be on the team or what have you. So he had plans to, and we're finalizing the concept right now, but it's either going to be senior housing, workforce, or veterans, or a combination of both, some type of mixed use.
I was going to say mixed use.
Yeah, so part of that conversation and helping them understand the QAP, and we're working with Inglewood Community Development Corporation.
Yeah.
So Joe Bowling over there, and it's always good to see him at different events. So I saw him as well.
I was going to say, they're like the vets of real estate development here locally. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So, you said QAP?
Yeah.
What's that?
Qualified Allocation Plan. So it just helps people get tax credits for affordable housing.
And you learned all that.
I did. I
see you have your book, so I know you are a man who is on a mission to learn.
Absolutely.
And develop.
All about personal development.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the books?
Yeah, sure. Just briefly, don't know him personally, but shout out to Dr. Henry McLeod. The book called Necessary Endings. During COVID, it was hard for everybody. And so Necessary Endings is really about the relationships that you need to sever, that you need to, prune or, continue on, but just with some type of caution. But there are always necessary endings when you're in a transition and trying to pivot out of one season into the next. and you need to know how to navigate that. So that book just breaks it all the way down for
So you just came in
professionally
here
and
to
personally.
preach today. So you preaching on
That's who
today.
I am.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry.
goodness, that's good. I'm gonna have to add that one to.
Necessary Endings is amazing.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
mentally it helped me understand a lot, and
man.
it was necessary that I had to let that go in order to pick up something bigger and better.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So then I would say sell it like Sirhan. Ryan Sirhan is the GOAT of real estate. On the first 2 pages, when I read, I already knew who he was from $1 Million Listing, the show. And so to hear his entire story and get tips and tricks to understand how to be as successful as he is, when I flipped to the 3rd page and he said, I made $100 million last month, I said, I'm going to keep reading.
Oh wow.
I'm just going to keep on reading.
Okay, we got a whole book club. We starting here.
As a Man Thinketh, James Allen. It's kind of funny he has my middle and last name. But this is all about mindset, because everything starts as a thought. Yeah, so just managing mindset. And then, of course, with the Jumpstart Indie program, they told us to get this book called The Birth of a Building. And it's going to tell you everything from the dirt all the way to the landscape, and then the finishing and birthing or opening of a particular development project. So, yeah, those are just some of the books that I've been reading, and I continue to just, check out different books or information online just in relation to where I'm going. I always understand you don't have to know everything, but you got to know enough about what you're trying to do to move forward. Seize the moment.
This episode is brought to you by Edna Martin CBDO LLC, powered by Edna Martin Christian Center's Homes program, helping families in Martindale Brightwood secure housing, build wealth, and grow strong communities. From home ownership training and down payment assistance to maintenance education and estate planning, Homes is your one-stop hub for sustainable living and generational success. Ready to own your future? Contact Immanuel Ivey at iivey@ednamartincc.org and take the first step toward your new beginning. Edna Martin CBDO LLC. Building homes, creating opportunities, and changing lives. You said you're humbled by the education and the resources that you've gotten from all of those programs. What has the support meant for your growth?
I think it's amazing, and it's an amazing time. Because Black people as a whole have just kind of been slighted in regards to resources and socioeconomic resources and tools and systems that have kind of oppressed us. And so I think that giving back is just who I am. So I love when people are able to give back. So the programs that allow us to come in and learn for free, and then with ULI being one of the largest organizations for real estate professionals all over the world at a low price of $350 to get into a program for 15 weeks to learn about this, to put us in spaces to talk about deals that are hundreds of millions of dollars, something we wouldn't even think about, is amazing. So it's humbling. I'm honored, and looking forward to what's next.
The knowledge, like that you gain from the program, both programs, the Jumpstart Indie program, and then the ULI Ready, is amazing. I mean, like you said, things that we hadn't thought about necessarily. Right. Even I know that, and we'll talk about Jumpstart later on. Jasmine is going to be coming in joining us, so I just happen to know some of the origins of Jumpstart, and so just how it all came about and bringing it to the neighborhood, bringing it to Indianapolis, the community. Though the community that you built in those programs, what does that mean for you?
It means everything. Your network is your net worth, and to see like-minded individuals and people of color just doing the same thing, have the same aspirations to want to do something bigger than them and to give back to their community, it's amazing. So definitely like to stay in contact with, most of the people in there, and everywhere I go, I see them,
I
and it's
know,
like,
right?
okay.
Yep.
Just saw some people last night at Liz Edgy graduation, and that
Congratulations.
yes, and so those uh, people have come through and are doing major things right now and aspire to do major things. So yeah, proud of everybody for continuing on the journey because it's not easy, especially including just life. And if you got kids or anything like that, trying to navigate one of the most challenging aspects of real estate is commendable if you stick with it.
What would you say is the biggest challenge you've had to navigate so far?
The biggest challenge is going to be finding the money.
Yeah.
It's going to be finding the money because every project is different. And so it's being able to come up with the plan. Time is always going to be either your best friend or your worst enemy in any project, you
Yeah.
know. And so just making sure that you have the right people, managing the process right, and having that money is going to be it.
The capital stack.
It's going to make or break it.
Man,
Yes.
I definitely know that. So is it the access to capital, or is it the, what would you say about the money? Is it not knowing where to go, or how, like, is it the criteria? Is it all those things?
Sometimes it can be all
all
of
those
the
things.
above.
Man,
When I'm working with my commercial clients, sometimes it could be a startup, or it could be trying to get a second location. So it's all about, your business plan, your business model. Let's look at personal finances. Who's going to be the personal guarantor,
yeah.
for this, and then looking at financing on that standpoint, and who are your other investors? Do you qualify for this? Do you meet the criteria that the QAP is asking for scoring when you're thinking about thresholds and certain things that you have to meet? It can all come into play. It just depends on the deal.
You're a smart man. Like, dang, and you learned all of this in just a few years. So what you was doing during the pandemic, you was learning?
Yeah, no, so I started in development last year.
Oh.
Yes. So
Wow.
I've been in real estate. I got my real estate license in January of 21. I hung my license with FC Tucker. And then, last year got into the Jumpstart program and moved into ULI. So I've learned just a little bit about development in that short time.
Can you tell us about your larger vision for that, for a 200 unit mix use subdivision and food market?
Yeah.
What inspired the
Lofty
idea?
goals and ideas. Some people say they're a little bit, outlandish or too ambitious, but let's talk legacy.
Okay.
Okay. My end goal is to be able to create legacy for my
Okay.
family. I've always felt like I'm going to be the one to change things financially for my family. So I'll kind of dig into it. I'm a musician as well. So I've been playing keys for churches and used to do jazz groups and travel and stuff like that.
Wow.
Wrote music, was over a national recording choir and all of that, and started another company, started this company. So I really thought one of those was going to make it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not a millionaire like Joy, but I'm trying to get there.
I'm trying to get there too.
But so I thought real estate was going to help me change things financially for my family. So I want to look out for my family, immediate family, extended family and all. But my ultimate idea is not to just be a realtor, right? I can't pass that down. I can't pass working a job down, but you can pass a business down. So 3 months into real estate, I started Allen Realty Group, LLC, because I wanted to purchase investment properties to put that up under my LLC, S Corp, trust, that whole stack. So be able to pass that wealth down, use some of that wealth to be able to buy a piece of land, create either a subdivision or a 200-unit mixed-use development, and to be able to have that in my community, help my family, because everybody needs housing, generations upon generations, that could still be there, and I can leave a print wherever I go, just like I did with the Urban League or the Making Men Better program or whatever. When I look back over my life, I want to say, what did I leave behind? What did I do for my family? What did I do for my community? So that's my ultimate goal.
Wow.
I want to create a subdivision.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing.
Why do I say that it can happen? It's because one of my mentors, Jim Roberts, invited me and a couple friends of mine. I'll throw their names out there.
Shout out to your friends.
Shout out to my friends, Melita and Paul and Nakaya. So we went up to...
that was Jumpstart.
Yeah.
Melita who?
Yeah.
Melita and who else?
And Paul.
And Paul?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Nakaya.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
We all
okay.
took a trip up to Illinois. And so Jim
Paul
Roberts,
is a hoot.
He's a beast. He's doing some big things. And so we went up there per invite just to be able to learn more about affordable housing development. And so after we took a tour of probably 5 or 6 developments, one of them was a subdivision. I think 2 of them were a subdivision. And he just took us around like the biggest neighborhood you can think of, just like you drive in any neighborhood and you're like, I'm tired of driving this through this development. He built all of those. And then he took us to this big sky rise. And then he took us over here. And then he took us over here to this senior housing thing. And I'm like, oh, it can be done.
It can be done.
It can be done.
Where? Where did y'all go?
In Peoria, Illinois.
Oh, wow. I got people up.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been, but...
He's doing some amazing things. Yeah, affordable housing development services, AVDS.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What was a moment of personal growth that shaped your development journey?
It was in my ULI class when Keith Ville was one of the moderators. It was Keith Ville and Danny Miller. And he said, you can learn the skills, because I'm a visionary, so I like to kind of see the end, what this is, where it's going to get me, what can I do to get there. And so he said, you can have the skills, but it's going to be believing that you belong. Mm-hmm. It's going to make the biggest difference. Mm-hmm. So when you walk in a room, you got to believe that you belong there. Mm-hmm. You got to feel comfortable and confident that what you know is what you know.
Yeah.
What you don't know is what you don't know.
Yeah.
But I can find out, and I got people who know that. The smartest one in the room is going to say, okay, I don't know everything. Let me delegate some responsibilities, or let me find that out for you. But in that particular moment, I said, I can do this. So that was growth for me.
Wow.
Yeah. It's kind of like the book, The Confidence Gap. And the confidence gap is more so, in a nutshell, you lack confidence in a specific area. But you know how to write, you know how to read, you know how to walk, you know how to use a fork. So you know how to do 1,000 things, but you just don't know how to do one. So you walk in with that same confidence and understand I can still learn, because there's just one more thing that I can learn.
Wow. Wow. I'm going to have to get a whole list of all the books that I'm have to put on my audio so I can become as smart and as rich as you.
Oh, my God. When I sat down at the table, I said, this is what it feels like to sit down with $1 billion. Thank you so much, Joy.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for saying yes and for joining us for the podcast, Developing Me, We, and You.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
Remember, build something bigger than yourself. When we build together, we grow together.